Welcome everyone to Marketing Mastery from Emma D of Emma D Marketing. Today I'm just running a quick tutorial on the marketing mix and helping you to understand how you can introduce a simple framework within your business that will help you with your marketing. So, first question is, are you struggling with your marketing? Are there elements of it that you're just not quite sure of? And today's tutorial hopefully will help. What I often find with clients is they've learned a ton. They've learned sometimes fragmented aspects of marketing and just aren't quite sure how to pull it all together. So today is about me helping you to move towards marketing mastery. Why should you listen to me? Well, basically, I've got a master's in marketing, which means I studied marketing to a very high level, which a lot of people have not done. I have a business degree in business and marketing. I also have 20 years experience in business, and probably 10 to 12 of those are more specifically on marketing research, sales. I've worked as an area sales manager. I've worked within different industries. So I have the background both academically and equally, in terms of business experience, I can help you. I've worked for the last 5 years with hundreds and hundreds of clients in Ireland, US, UK, Australia, in terms of helping these small to medium business owners move forward towards marketing mastery. So, without further ado, in order to achieve marketing mastery, one of the first things that you've got to learn about is about the marketing mix. Now, the marketing mix came about actually in 1960, so it's actually around for quite a long period of time. Some of you will have heard of it already, again, because it's around so long, and I'm just going to go through it again and just to remind people how important this very simple framework can be in terms of creating a very good framework of how you can move forward in your business and have a good marketing plan. So the first thing you're looking at is the 4 elements of the marketing mix, which are product, price, promotion, and place. Now, in a further video, I'll bring you to the 7 different P. They're called the 4 Ps, but there's also 7 Ps today, or 7 Ps as well, I should say. But today we're going to focus on the 4 Ps. The 4 Ps are a key marketing activity and helps you to manage your marketing. So again, the 4 Ps are product, price, promotion, and place. And you can see why they're each very important. So if you've got the product or indeed a service, product and it's interchangeable, it can be service as well. You've got your place, which is a place where you're selling your product or service. So that can be on the internet, it can be in a physical location, really depending on what your business actually is. The price then is obviously incredibly important because that will tell how well you can do. It also position your product or service within the mind of the consumer. So this is incredibly important as well. And then you've got promotion, which is really all about PR. It's about social media, it's about email marketing, and a comprehensive way of getting the word out there about your particular product or service. So the 4 Ps again are product, price, promotion, and place. So for today, we're going to focus on product. So a product really is a product or service or indeed an idea. And what it does, it fulfills the needs and wants of the customers. And that's a very important aspect because oftentimes entrepreneurs can be really creative and they create this fantastic product, this fantastic service, but oftentimes they don't think of what the customer actually needs and indeed who are their customers. So there are critical questions in terms of your product or service as well. Now, just to run through these are questions I would highly recommend that you write down and that you literally decide, and define your product or service. So the first one being, what benefits do you offer your customers? So what benefits does your service offer your customers, and to list them. The second thing is, why should they pick your product or service over another? So again, what's the differentiating factor? Why should they pick yours? What do you offer that is different to your competition? So really to write down what is different about you, what extra can they get from your product or service were they to buy it? Again, a very important question to ask is, who are your customers? And also, where do they hang out? So to have a very clear idea about who your customers are in terms of age, in terms of demographics, in terms of where they're located, in terms of their expectations, culturally, socially, and so on and so forth. So have a really, really good sense of who your customers are. The second part then, or rather the last one I should say then, is where do these customers hang out? In other words, where do you need to market to them. What platforms are they on? Are they on different social media platforms? Do you need to go to networking groups? Do you need to do speaking engagements? Where do your customers hang out? And therefore that will help you to decide what's the best plan to market to them or to promote your product or service to them. So in terms of your product and service, like one of the questions he asked is what benefits are part of what you do with your product or service. So you can think of things like loyalty programs, guarantees are excellent. Is it a new technology you're offering? Or are you implementing a new technology with your service? In terms of a product, obviously if it's food or whatnot, is it a different taste? Do they experience something different when they use your product or service? Do you achieve fantastic results for people? So just to list the features of your product or service so that you know and are very clear about exactly what you do. Other considerations can be the brand name that you have. Again, the guarantee is very, very important because that creates trust. You're guaranteeing them that the product will work, that the service will deliver results, and so on and so forth. The packaging is incredibly important. If you have very poor packaging, that would turn people off. Alternatively, if you have very good packaging, that will draw people towards your product or service. The same can be if you're online. The packaging can be in terms of if you deliver email, if you have a membership site, and so on and so forth. What does that look like? What do people feel when they go in there? Can they navigate it easily? And so on and so forth. Other considerations are the performance. How well does your product perform? Is it good in comparison perhaps to its competitors? Equally, in terms of your service, how well do you perform? How well does your service perform in terms of that industry? Is there any add-ons? Do you provide any bonuses? Is there other services that you can add on? So just to consider what features do your product and services actually have and to write them out. Also to consider, are you in the B2B space? That's business to business, or are you business to consumer? Because there's a huge difference between B2B and B2C. So just to be very clear and to write this out. Sometimes you can be a mixture of both, but just to be very clear that you have a different marketing strategy typically for a B2B as opposed to a B2C. Again, I can't say this often enough, customer value proposition, which really is what benefits are you bringing to your customers? So not alone just get so caught up in your product or service, but get really caught up in, what benefits do the customers have when they buy your product or service? That is super important. Something that's come to the forefront over the last number of years is the experience your customers have when they come to you. The experience when they buy the product, the experience when they walk into your store if you have a store, the experience that the customer has if they're on your website in terms of navigation, in terms of colors, in terms of branding, and so on and so forth. When they're using your service, what's the experience as well? So just be very, very aware of the whole experience of buying your product or service. Also be very cognizant and aware of feedback from your customers. Are they happy? Are they smiley? Is everything great? Are they happy? So just to make sure that you get feedback on your product or service and that you're not in nirvana all the time and you think that your product or service is absolutely amazing and maybe you're falling down different elements that your customers would really appreciate. So just to ask, to make sure that intermittently you are asking questions, sending out questionnaires, having mystery shoppers, for example, if you have a shop and so on and so forth. Just be very sure that you are delivering what you say you're delivering. So are you good? Are you average? Are you poor? And obviously if you're average or poor, that you do something to redress that. Always be aware of your customers. So now folks, you're on your way. You're learning about product. So product, price, promotion and place. And tomorrow we'll deal with price. So please come back and you'll learn more about pricing.